around the world to learn what professors are researching within their specialties and be the first in the know. Listen as we discover the newest green innovations, research the behavioral patterns of animals, and examine how the arts are being studied today. You'll find it all on the Academic Minute.
Listen every weekday afternoon during the KSJE Evening News at 5:30. (8:52) Friday morning here on KSJE, and it's time to wrap up the week. We do it every week with Wally D from Wally D Sports. Good morning.
Good morning, Scott.
Thank you for coming in.
And thank you for letting me come. Always enjoy it.
I always appreciate you trying to explain to me how prep sports are doing, and so I think I'm getting the hang of it, but you never know.
I know I had to, when we got on here, I had to explain between color and play-by-play, right?
You did. I know, just a few minutes ago. Oh, yeah. The mayor will be doing color commentary with you tonight.
Right, exactly.
On another radio station.
Exactly.
Okay. And for the Farmington game?
For the Farmington game,
Okay, very good. So that's
he bleeds green too, you know.
I know he does. I know. I have to be very careful.
I know. Well, you're talking to Farmington alum.
Yes. I mean, there you are in your green shirt for folks who are watching us. So it's obvious, right, that you bleed green for sure. So what's going on this week? We've got the polls, and they didn't change all that much, did they, from last week? I mean, to me, they looked exactly the same.
No, they really didn't. They're pretty much the same. And there's a couple of polls. We've talked about this before.
Right.
And there's Max Prep's polls, which is a power ranking poll. It goes to strength of schedule, who played who, and this and that, and your team's opponents and all that. Anyway, just one slight change there, which kind of surprised me that this one didn't change. But Farmington jumped up to 5 in that poll, and Piedra Vista to 6. So they flip-flopped, and that's only because Farmington won big last week, and Piedra Vista lost to the number 1 team, Roswell, last week, 35-0. A tough one for them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they with 3 weeks left in the season, they know they got a lot of work to do.
Sure.
I mean, you got to beat every team to win the state championship. So.
Well, of course, and that's a tough matchup when you're going up against the number 1 ranked team in the state, as we can see. So the polls that we're showing are from this NMOT, right, which are coaches voting.
The coaches poll, yeah, and for the most part, they pretty much follow Max Preps, because some coaches down south don't know what we're doing up here, and so they pretty much follow that.
Gotcha. So as we can see, we've got still PV ranked 5 and Farmington ranked 6 in the 5A poll. Roswell's still number 1, and then over in 4A, you've still got Bloomfield there at a strong number 2, it looks like.
Definitely, yeah. They're undefeated, which is a great start for the Bloomfield Bobcats. One of their best starts in a long, long time. I think 1966 they won 11-0.
Oh, okay.
So they have a chance.
I don't remember that year, but I didn't think you do either, Wally D.
It was before I started learning how to say football.
Right, there you go. But that's a long time.
That's a long time ago, yeah.
Very much. So. And we've got Aztec ranked at number 4, and Kirtland at 8 in the 4A poll.
Yeah, and what's crazy? Tonight? District start, and
these are important.
This is where it's important. I did interviews with coaches, and you talk to them, and it's like, here's a whole new season. We're 0-0. Right. Even though the others going to count, but but you win district, you're in the playoffs for sure. And even like you look at Kirtland at number 8, they're still one of the top teams. They're a good contender. Them and Aztec go up against each other tonight. That's probably going to be the biggest matchup in our area tonight, because whoever wins that's going to take a definite step towards a district championship. I mean, you still got Bloomfield there, of course.
Right, which we'll get through them.
We'll talk about them in just a second. But this Kirtland Aztec matchup, and Kirtland wins, it'll really boost them up in the polls. There's no doubt. And Aztec, a young team, but has a great record and doing really well. And my pick is Aztec.
Okay. All right.
And I like Kirtland. They've got a lot of great athletes and everything. Right. And this is just going to be one of the best matchups tonight.
Okay. All right. Now what about Bloomfield?
Bloomfield takes on Gallup. Okay. Gallup, a very struggling team. It's one of those games that coach, has to make sure his team's up for, no letdowns and everything. They just come off a bye week, got everybody healthy. So they should cruise and win this one pretty easily.
Home game?
Home game.
Okay. So there you go, everybody. And if we take a look at 3A and 2A, pardon me, you can see Tularosa on top of 3A, and the only local school that we have over in 2A is Newcomb at number 8.
Yeah, Newcomb travels over to Escalante. That's going to be a tough game for them. They're not setting as good as they were last year. Last year, I think they were like 6-1 or 7-1 at this time, and this year it's a little bit different. A little bit tougher schedule they've played this year than what they did last year, which is good for them going into the playoffs. But I just don't think they're going to get by Escalante tonight. And then other big games, Piedra Vista travels down to take on. Mia Mira.
Okay, Gallup.
Gallup.
Right.
And shouldn't be a problem for them with that one. And then of course the game that we're doing tonight, Farmington hosting Highland for homecoming. And that's, Farmington looked really good last week. I mean, they just clicked on all cylinders, and I don't think it's going to be a big problem for them tonight, although Highland is an up-and-coming team. They're 5-2. They just haven't played a tough schedule, and they've got a couple of great running backs, and if Farmington can control those and do what they did last week on offense where, I mean, they talk about quarterback ratings. I think their quarterback rating would have been perfect last week. Just was throwing things on a dime, and
right.
And they should do well tonight.
Okay. It's their homecoming, so you kind of want them to win their homecoming game.
And opening district game, too.
And opening district game, right?
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Any predictions then for district, Wally D, at this point? It's very early, I understand.
Well, it's only 3 games early, but district championship will come down to Farmington, Piedra Vista, almost for sure, in 5A, 1-5A, and I bleed green. So,
okay.
But I look at things a lot more. I used to really always pick Farmington. I don't do that anymore. I look at it more realistic. And right now, I do give the nod to.
So far, you think Farmington will pull it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so maybe that puts PV on notice, right?
Step
it up. Prove Wally D wrong.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's what
they've got a good defense. That's the one thing that PV does have, and that
okay.
could be problems for Farmington.
If a coach needs to rally his players, it could be prove Wally D wrong. Maybe that'll do it.
Believe me, they do that.
I'm sure they do. What about the other district? What about the other?
Bloomfield Aztec. It depends on tonight. Kirtland and it'll be Kirtland, Bloomfield, or Aztec.
Okay.
And right now, I'm kind of giving the nod to Bloomfield. But, I want to see what happens tonight between Kirtland and Aztec. If Aztec holds true, then the district championship's going to come down to Bloomfield and Aztec at the end of the season.
Okay.
And we'll see. And then, of course, Bloomfield's going to have Kirtland next week. So that's why tonight's really critical between Aztec and Kirtland.
Some good games.
Definitely.
Games to go out and catch, so that's great.
And, of course, they're all on the AGM Sports Radio Network, or go to wallydsports.com, and we've got 4 games broadcasting tonight.
But you're only one person. How can you do that? How is that possible?
Well, I produce them. Let's put it that way.
You have some other help, I know.
I have a lot of help.
Okay.
I have a lot of great broadcasters that help us broadcast all the games. So.
Okay.
And I actually produced 7 games on Friday night.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Well, there you go, everybody. So you can catch the games. You can't be there in person. You can certainly find them on the radio or the web stream near you.
Just go to wallydsports.com. It'll all be right there.
There you are. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Wally.
All right, thank you.
Always appreciate it. That's Wally D from Wally D Sports, my guest here on KSJE as we wrap up the week on this Friday. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great Friday and an even better weekend. I'm Scott Micklin. I will see you back here Monday morning at 8 right here on KSJE, Farmington, New Mexico.
In KSJE 90.9 FM, your information and cultural beacon for the Four Corners, serving Aztec, Bloomfield, and Farmington. Reach us today online at KSJE.